Hello and welcome back to Aston Martin and F1 Manager 2022 here in 2023 for race 7 of the calendar. 64 points on the board already. If you haven't watched the last race, then go check that out. The link is in the description below, along with the links to the Twitch where this happens live, so you can watch it live. We're typically 2 episodes ahead, and actually by the time of recording this, we will be 2 episodes ahead by the time it goes live anyway. So I will also typically stream on the same day that these videos come out, actually, just 2 races ahead. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Tuesdays are a bit on-off at the moment, depending on my schedules, but the other 3, no issues there in the near future, it seems. There is nothing of note to mention about Aston Martin's situation before Monaco, so I will probably just see you straight at qualifying now. Right then, qualifying not as exceptional as I was anticipating. Pierre is 10th though, because he crashed and I didn't realise I needed to change his gearbox as a result of the crash. If you remember when Verstappen took him out in Singapore, the next race he needed a new gearbox, it was like that, just without interference. He just crashed of his own accord, but drove on perfectly fine after that, so I didn't realise anything was actually wrong fundamentally with the car, because he didn't need to replace anything. I forgot he wasn't using a worn gearbox to begin with. 100% on everything. And it's a rainy qualifying, but a clear race. I think he broke... Did he break the ERS as well? Because that's gone way down. Right, I'm bringing you back before everyone's done their laps, because it started raining after Sainz, Gasly and Mick did their soft laps. I think Albon might have just gotten away with it. Not quite, but I imagine everyone's laps now are going to be on intermediates or wets even, because that wetness of track is going up dramatically quickly. Now, if I look at the prediction, it doesn't look like it's going to dry out. Now, that could be a lie because we're still only on 80%, but I don't think we need to come out. The subsequent laps are 30 seconds slower. I do suspect if anyone who's actually on wet tyres will do better laps than that, though, because they did those all on dry tyres. But still nowhere near, and we'll be fine, I think. No flying laps seen, unfortunately, in Q1 here, but who cares when we get our drivers through without any issue? Perez is out. Well, he might not be. He might not be, because I don't know if this lap counts or not. People are crossing the line now. Vettel's gone plus 8 seconds, so the good news is we're fine. Interesting that Sainz didn't come out. Or did he? Sainz did come out. Why? Game. Perez still in the bottom 4, but he's crossing the line now. Yeah, he's fine. Because it's effectively Gasly, Mick and Albon just getting in the way of the normal top 6. The rest of that top 6 is still kind of there, plus Alonso, and then it's a straight fight between everyone else, because they're all in the same playing field. So it's Ricciardo out, Vettel out, Zhou out, Tsunoda out, and Bottas worst of all, surprisingly. And now we're all going to be in the same boat for Q2. Probably Gunter Steiner's, judging by that. Rain? Wait, it's dry to start Q2 again. It's going to do the same thing in Q2. Doesn't matter if these laps get hindered at all. We just need to get them on the board. I mean, I'm going to show you some action because Pierre's coming around the final corners to actually complete his dry lap. But it will rain. It just depends how many people actually get across the line in time. But it's going to rain again according to the forecast. I'll show you that in a moment. Ooh. Pierre just gets across the line with a 1:10.6, which I think is decent. It's faster than Mick in every sector. And Ocon. Mick did roughly the same lap as Ocon. Alright, maybe we are slightly better here than I thought. But you can see the rain is coming as of next lap, apparently. I don't know how much it is going to be, but it's not going to be dry ever again, if I'm not being lied to. And there it is. Magnussen has done a lap. Doohan did a lap. Doohan did a really good lap, actually. And Sainz did a lap. So we'll see how affected Albon is. Albon's going to be the first one to cross the line on slick tyres in some form of wet conditions. He has now officially gone to intermediates, but he did half his lap when it was still dry, I imagine. 2.8, so that's still noticeable. Leclerc's next and struggling to get around that final corner. Norris is behind him. We could see something dramatic here, because Albon obviously did much less of a lap. Oh, he hadn't even started his flying lap, Leclerc. Norris had, and has gone 5 seconds slower. So there we are. Albon only had to do a fraction of his flying lap, so he's actually kind of gone away with it a little bit. All the front runners, apart from Sainz, yeah, ruined. I'm going to put on new softs in case it dries out by the time we would actually come out again, but I don't think it is. Like I say, it's going to come down, I think. It's going to come down, but I don't think it's going to ever be dry, so I think we're fine again. Yeah, it's kind of hovering at 2 millimeters, so we'll just sit and wait. The important ones here, of course, are the big 5 that weren't Sainz. You know, the big 6 that weren't Sainz. And Leclerc only proves to plus 5 seconds, so yeah, we're going to be fine. That's Mick into Q3, by the way. But who's not going to get through here? Because there's effectively 8 drivers trying to get in those last 3 spots. Norris goes 13th, Perez goes 10th. So annoyingly, it is both Red Bulls and the Ferrari. But Hamilton, Alonso and Russell and Norris all out, and then Stroll exists too. Which means Magnussen is through. Shout out to Magnussen. Albon is through. Doohan is through in third in this session. Gonna be worried about Doohan here. Mick could genuinely be last. I mean, Magnussen's probably going to be last, I think. I think we've got the pace on the Haas, but what a weird qualifying this is. It's been dry at the beginning of both sessions. And it's dry again now. But we've got 4 soft tyres, so I might as well use the ones that come with Q3 to begin with. And this one's all dry, so no rain shenanigans for this one. We'll see what they do for their first flying laps. I won't give you onboards for this, but I'm now officially concerned by the pace of the AlphaTauris because they seem to be, at the very least, better than Mick here. Gasly was faster than Perez on that lap, and without any interference from Mercedes, Alpine, or Ocon's there, I suppose, we do appear to have the upper hand. Gasly could genuinely start this race in the top 5. In fact, I don't think he'll start any lower than 5th, depending on what Ocon does on this second lap. But I also don't know when to send them out, because it's a 110 lap, so you kind of got to give them, what, two minutes? And because we've got slower cars in this session as well, it's kind of, who do you not want to get stuck behind? There's only 10 cars, so you should be able to get out last and not have an issue. There's 1 Ferrari. There's 2 Ferraris. I can still see a Red Bull on my map. I could use the other view, but yeah, Gasly first, Schumacher second. As soon as I see that second Red Bull move, I'm coming out. And there it is. Get Mick out behind. I think that's all 10 cars. Should be enough time. You know what? We enjoy enough of Pierre Gasly's flying laps in Q3, because he always has one so far. We'll go on board with Mick for his first Q3 for Aston Martin, at least. I don't know if he got any for Haas. Last season, they weren't spectacular. Pierre's actually really close to Perez, so I'm thinking that lap time was legitimate from the pair of them. It's weird that Perez is 8/10 slower than Verstappen, though, so I'm expecting something a little bit more from him. But we're on board with Mick. Gasly's already through the first sector and gone faster in the first sector than he did in his first lap. Mick hasn't, but through these right-hand corners, into the tunnel, the F1 Manager 2022 adorned tunnel. I mean, Pierre is basically on Perez right now, so if there is anything such as a slipstream here, then Pierre's getting it. Pierre's gone faster in the second sector as well. Pierre could genuinely finish 4th here. Okay, but that's not annoying. I don't know why that doesn't happen on their first laps in qualifying. Just always happens on the second one. They're in 6th. Ocon, it stays 9th. He doesn't go faster. It doesn't look like Mick's going faster. Obviously, both sets of tyres were fresh tyres for this session, and Gasly does improve. Perez didn't. Gasly stays 4th. That was a pointless session. And Mick doesn't improve either. And I think Albon and Magnussen actually have finished. They just did their lap before time ran out. So no one moved at all. Although the Ferraris did identical laps, apparently. Oh, no, sorry. It's identical intervals. What? No, hang on. Same distance to leader? Oh, their fastest laps were identical, sorry. Their last laps were different. So Leclerc might have gone faster than Sainz on that lap then. So Leclerc and Sainz might have swapped over. I don't know. They must have done, because Sainz did a slower lap. So Pierre 4th, Mick 8th. At Monaco, where you can't overtake. Both Mercedes out of the points. Are we genuinely fighting Mercedes in the Constructors now?
And you can't get much more excitement than this on race day. It's the Monaco Grand Prix.
1 stop for most, soft to hard or medium to hard. It's 1 stop for everyone, just which order you do it in. So the average lap time on softs is 1:15.2, average lap time on mediums is 1:15.7, and the average... I'm going to go off this going forward, by the way, because degradation doesn't really matter too much because all the tyres are going to be degrading. So by the end of their lap, it's only, what, 0.002 seconds more of a degradation on the softs, and they are half a second faster to begin with. In fact, it's half a second between each of them. So ideally, you want to be on the hards as... You ideally kind of want to be on the hards as least as possible. And I think you also want to be on the fastest tyres at the beginning. What's the median lap for that? 29 for softs. 29 for softs. And 33 for hards. I don't think the softs can do 29 laps. I think we saw they were good for like 24. I generally think medium hard might be the way to go here. Of course, there could always be a safety car. Because I don't trust these anymore. That's why I'm looking at that a little harder. Yeah, that I could say that was going to be borderline, wasn't it? So definitely medium hard for Pierre, who's less good on his tyres. Both just medium hard, no faff. And of course, we've got to be careful here because I don't think we can really push them much beyond the actual start.
It's time for one of the most exciting races in the world. It's the Monaco Grand Prix. And it's lights out.
I do feel like Crofty's oversold that. One of the most exciting races in the world, apparently. No, it's typically 20 cars going around in procession, but Gasly's got Sainz off the line. It's kind of a case of how hard do you go on this. We'll watch that again just because.
We can take a look now.
And there's one to actually do for
So
Mick
this
behind.
is the Aston Martin.
Just round on the outside of Sam de Vos. I mean, we know heroics, but he did some there. You can sort of see Mick filter in behind the AlphaTauri of Albon behind. So you must get him in what I want to call Casino, because I think that's the Casino there. Yeah, he has split the AlphaTauris. It's probably good for Mick to get past Doohan. We'll watch this, and then I'll come back in. But yeah, it was in Casino. Round the outside, they're both on mediums. Doohan is on softs annoyingly, as is most of the front lot. And I'm starting to think softs is the play, because they're going to be slower than me. He's not going to have the pace to get past him, and that graphic is annoying me in the background again. I don't really mind Pierre at this point, but I do need Mick to get Doohan, because he's effectively the last car that is comparable. Sainz is more than a second behind. Sainz is on softs, but used softs, because he did all 4 sessions in time. I'm kind of happy for Pierre to come off fuel there. Kind of happy for him to come off tyres now. He's still going for it though. I'm happy for him to deploy still, but because I think Sainz is going to close up anyway, because the 2 Ferraris are going to be similar paces regardless. We're not going to break DRS there. But Mick, I need you to do something here. Oh, wait, you're going to have to come off your tyres now as well. Okay, well that was kind of your last opportunity to do anything there. That was your last opportunity to do anything there. We won't burn the entire reserves. But Perez is outside of a second, so at the very least it's a front 4 fight. But yeah, Doohan's lost the second on Perez as well, so when he does come to DRS
will be active.
of which there is only one, and it's on the main straight anyway. Might just tell Mick to harvest on this one particular lap, because he's got over the second to Albon. Because I can tell him to deploy down the main straight when he has DRS next lap. Because I don't think he'll lose Doohan even harvesting. Because all that's saying is basically don't deploy where you normally deploy. Oh, Gasly's immediately lost them. Gasly immediately lost Leclerc by not pushing anymore. Huh. That's not fun. It's because they're on softs. It'd be nice if Leclerc lost Verstappen's DRS though, because then everyone's just running around at their own leisure, really. Oh god, harvesting did actually get him out of Doohan's DRS. Why is Doohan faster? Because he's on softs. Oh, I made a mistake there with Mick. I should have kept him in DRS race. Sainz got Gasly, I didn't even see that. So effectively, this first phase is me praying those softs lose enough power to be detrimental towards the end of their stint. I think Russell lost further places, because they were 10th and 12th. Magnussen lost places for sure, because he was in the top 10. Sorry, they were 11th and 13th, weren't they? But Gasly's holding Perez at bay for now. He has lost time to Sainz, annoyingly, as has Mick to Doohan. Doohan's having a really blindingly good race here. Bottas at least got up to 17th after qualifying last. But I think Mick's back on target to hit his pit stop sort of bang on. Because the thing is, everyone's going to be in the same kind of boat here. All the pit stops are one stop, so everyone's going to be hitting that kind of 30% barrier when they get to their pit stops. So we're just hoping for that phase, basically, where the soft tyres are worse than the medium tyres. And Sainz in particular, of course, because his is 66. Doohan's is 69. Guess he used more. Or a safety car, of course. So interestingly, the gap to Doohan to Mick is kind of stationary right now on lap 16. It's not growing anymore. Gasly to Sainz is still inching further apart, unfortunately. This might be an annoyingly quick recording. Yeah. 80 laps in, literally nothing's happened. It is the most Monaco I've ever seen in my life. No one has overtaken each other except for Sainz on Gasly. Back again, and that's it. And I didn't even see that one. At the very least, running them normally is actually reserving a tiny bit of fuel per lap. Because Gasly's back up to neutral, and Schumacher, who I pushed a little bit longer, is back up to minus 0.2 of a kilogram. Kind of feel like, actually, whilst Pierre's got Perez for company, I could harvest. You might as well watch them, because there's something happening there. Albon's still 2.4 seconds behind Mick. Mick's still 4.3 behind Doohan, who, so far at least, isn't having a bad race after 6 very unfortunate races, 2 of his own making, 4 of not of his making, I think. He's deserved far more, really, from his first 6 races than, well, you presume to be 0 points, but he's never qualified in the top 10, but I think he's out-qualified Albon in most of the 6, at least. He's definitely winning the qualifying race at this point, if not clean sweeping it so far. But yeah, I might as well harvest with Pierre at this stage, because I'm not catching Sainz in the first phase. Perez is kind of stuck behind him regardless. And even if he does overtake him, then he'll just DRS him or help DRS me. 4th, 5th, I don't really mind too much. Still a blinding result. And I might as well have a full ERS charge for when I get out of the pits. What's going on with Mick? The gap to Doohan has come down fractionally. What is the last lap? Let's have a look. A 1:16.5 for Doohan, a 1:16... Well, it's basically they're both 1:16.5s, but... Well, if you round them, it's 1:16.6 and 1:16.5. Oh, Perez got Gasly. What? On the main straight. I shouldn't have harvested on the main straight because that's where DRS is. But now he's going to have it back, so fingers crossed. Yeah, don't really feel I need to watch it. Verstappen on lap 21 is getting close to the Williamses again, but their pit stop has got to be soon. It was 29, wasn't it, the average? So, yeah, they're only 8 laps away from needing a pit stop. Yeah. Doohan's tyres are on 47%. Perez is on 51% at this stage, and Pierre's got his nose in. Not enough on that lap, but yeah, okay, that's fine. Somehow Pierre's lost fuel whilst being behind. Work that one out. So last lap for Doohan, 1:16.76, so 1:16.8 basically. Mick 0.2 faster that time. So that gap will be coming back down again now for these next 8 laps. Just whether it's enough to actually do anything, different question. Oh, Gasly got Perez again. That's what we want. And he's got a tiny bit more fuel in. We will rewatch that one because it's literally the only highlight that's gone in our favour. Oh, just easy as you like now. Those tyres are useless on Perez. We'll take that. Successful defends might be better as well. Harvest over the rest of the lap. Make sure you don't be on harvest by the time you hit the DRS line. That's all I need to do there. Mick's now within 3.6 seconds of the car in front. Albon's actually closed the gap on him a fraction too, though. Hamilton and Alonso still stuck behind Albon, with Ocon 2 for company, although I think Magnussen slipped through there a place, and that might be the only change on track, because Stroll's holding up this lot. It does concern me that they are only 2 seconds behind, and all of this lot are in the DRS train behind them, because it does put the undercut on Mick into question, because they will be faster on the new hards, if any of them are on softs, of course. Alonso and Magnussen are on softs. Hamilton's actually doing the reverse. He's doing the hard to soft. So he actually... Hamilton might be a bit of a roadblock later in the race, because he'll be on old hards when everyone else is on new hards and going to the end. 3.3 for Mick now. Kind of forgot to take Gasly off harvest when he was on the final stretch there, but a few more laps till everyone pits. Mick's getting closer. He's under 3 seconds, under 2.5, although Albon's now within 2 of him. Ooh, by the time we get to lap 27, those soft tyres have gone off so badly, Mick's actually getting close to 2 seconds on Doohan. But they will be pitting this lap or the next one. This is actually kind of a depressing race because it's just everyone driving on their own. Apart from 2 trains here and here. But the front 7 are driving by themselves. That one's getting close to being within Mick's DRS, but not quite. I don't know why that's happening. In fact, Mick's actually trending ahead of his his tyre target, which is nice because that might allow him to attack the tyres a bit towards the end of this stint. I can't harvest with Mick though, is the problem. But that last lap for Doohan was a 1:17.1 and it was, well, almost 1:17.2 and Mick was a 1:16.8 still. Albon's 1/10 faster a lap. Albon's only 1/10 slower than Perez. Verstappen's doing 1:15.5 and they're still on softs. Maybe softs was the play then. Oh, so their softs are still above 40%, so I think once you get under 40, the drop-off is more dramatic. You just very rarely see AI go beneath 40. The Doohan's tyres are basically gone. Sainz's should be gone. Sainz should be struggling at this point as well. Gasly's not closing on Sainz. Why is that a thing? Yeah, Gasly and Sainz are doing identical lap times, despite the fact that Sainz's tyres have evaporated. No one pitted that lap, so they're doing one more lap on these, at least. Can Mick get in DRS range? Because he's getting close to actually being in his pit window. There's Verstappen and Sainz in. So to leader, Gasly was more than a pit stop behind Verstappen. To Sainz, he was not. Sainz might have had enough on Gasly to have feeded into the gap between Perez and Doohan. He has, yeah, and Doohan himself is pitted actually there as well. Just before Schumacher got DRS on him, annoyingly. In fact, Albon is very likely to get DRS before. So how many laps could I just go attack these tyres and not lose out? Because I don't want Albon to get within a second. So Leclerc and Perez are pitted now. I forgot we're pitting the same lap. But how far apart are we? Hard to tell. 20 seconds. We'll be fine. What's the interval from Mick to Albon? 1.2 still. Okay, so I feel like 2 laps is fair. Mickey is just crossing the line now, so attack there. Try and build up those gaps again. So everyone's coming in. They're both coming in the same lap, but they are 20 seconds apart on track. So, wow, just by attacking the tyres, he pushed the gap to Albon to 2.5 seconds. And they're all pitting this lap, actually, which means he's probably covered that undercut quite nicely. So Gasly's in and actually out again. We missed his pit stop. No issues. He's back out in 4th. With a gap to Hamilton. Important. And a gap to Perez, actually. Attacking those tyres, whilst Perez was on new ones, was crucial, seemingly. Mick's come out behind. Oh, God, that's not great. How low? How far behind? He's come out ahead of Alonso, which was crucial, who did actually get a bit of an undercut on him. Danny Rick still on mediums. Just going longer on those mediums then, clearly. We needn't worry about him too much.
Could be.
We can also deploy with Pierre. Do we actually need to deploy with Pierre, or do we just hold that charge? Maybe just hold that charge.
So happy to let these guys cool a bit.
It'd be nice if Mick could get a gap on Alonso here, but... Right, Mick's better on his tyre. Oh, I forgot to take Gasly off his tyre stint. He's just on the fastest lap as Gasly, so that's fun. But he's pulled out 4 seconds on Perez now, which is nice. Mick got 1.4 on Alonso. I thought he got more than that, to be fair, but now he's going to be on evens. It's going to be... How did Mick come out so far behind Doohan, is what I want to know. But both Hamilton and Russell were on hards originally, so they are holding Doohan up now, which is probably made actually deploying with Mick pointless, because they're going to catch him now quite quickly, I imagine. Yeah, Alonso's in range now. But yeah, Mick's stuck behind Russell now, who's on old hard, so we might as well use him to harvest. Who's crashed? And is it a safety car? It's a red flag. Oh, Jesus.
Let's have a look.
That's annoying.
Now watch this. It's involving Albon.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, he took Ocon out as well. Right. There are 30... That was the absolute worst time for safety, for a red flag. Because not only does it give this a free pit stop to Hamilton and Russell, who were on hards to begin with, which means Mick's now 9th, but why is it Noah's Ark down here? Well, there are 36 laps remaining, and we did, what, 33? I can't rule out another safety car. Everyone except... The thing is, everyone's started using a hard tyre now. So it's whether people stay on the hard tyre or not. I mean, everyone's going to be in a relatively similar boat. I'm going for it. I'm going for mediums. We're still stuck looking at a AlphaTauri for some reason.
The restart is moments away.
What is everyone on?
The race continues.
Some people got on softs. It's going to be anticlimactic because I've got to do this.
And it's lights out, and away we go.
It's not Crofty. Thank God I actually got some hot charging before that restart happened. Now it's away we go. What the bloody hell did Perez do there? Yes, Mick! Straight up into 7th. I don't know what he did, but straight up to 7th. From 9th. I think. I'm pretty certain we were 4th and 9th to go with. Gasly's got Sainz as well in the meantime. Now, I think to be fair, I'm going to have to immediately go no on these, but everything else we can push. It was all about that start. Sainz was always going to get back within a second. But the thing that's baffled me is people on softs.
Okay.
Why? You've got to do 36 laps. If Gasly stays within a pit stop, which I don't think is going to be the case probably, but, I mean, Gasly can deploy a bit more. Get him, Mick. Get him. I mean, you got more people for company than you did before. It's a shame we didn't get to see Mick's overtake on the restart. Or Gasly's, for that matter. Oh, I forgot to undeploy with Gasly there, but DRS is available at the end of this lap, I think. So, harvest through the regular part. Go neutral on the main straight, although you could just have a look here, I suppose. I don't know how we've suddenly got so much more fuel. DRS would be available at the end of this lap, so... at the end of the next lap. The Mercs don't hold on through those corners. Get him, Mick! Thank you. And that's the one bit of action we're going to see for the remainder of this race. Because Leclerc dropped Gasly. Gasly is catching Sainz though. Oh, we'll rewatch it. That's why I harvested for a lap. Just so I could do that the following lap. There we go. Thank you, Mick. I keep forgetting he isn't actually a Michael. He's just straight up Mick. I think Sainz will catch, but he's sort of hovering over this 2-second marker. There seems to be bits where Gasly's fractionally better in and bits where Sainz is fractionally better in. I think he is closing ever so slightly. I'd be intrigued to see what the lap time was. Yeah. Oh my lord, it's what, 300ths of a second? All right, fair enough. And then Verstappen and Leclerc in a world of their own. I'm intrigued to see what Mick does now with Doohan. Because if he can drop him, I think it's actually a bad idea to actually deploy there because it's 7/10. I think you need to get further away. This is where the straight is, of course, so this is where he'll get DRS back again. How much is that worth to Doohan? Gets within half a second. I mean, the last lap included DRS for Mick, of course, but that was 6/10 faster. I'm fascinated what happens to these soft tyre users. In fact, this is where you deploy now, is kind of make the most of it and try and break the second before you even get to the DRS line, which he's done. Lovely job, Lee. That might be bad, actually. I've got overexcited there, because if I kept doing in my DRS, that means it would have been harder for the Mercs to get past him. But Mick's up to 6th on merit and a wet qualifying. Oh, it's no longer Noah's Ark down here. Magnussen's got Ricciardo because he's a lap down. That's unfortunate. It's a shame that surely red flags undo lapping. And Sainz is still about 2 seconds behind Pierre. He just gets within 2 seconds in this sector, and then Pierre's sort of holding firm. Yeah, actually, Sainz that lap was 400 slower, so they're basically doing identical laps, Pierre and Carlos. And Mick is sort of 4/10 faster than Doohan, so good. We're now in a bit of a holding pattern again until Hamilton actually gets past Doohan, which at the very least isn't happening yet. But I think we could possibly push the fuel to the end of the race at this stage. But as long as Gasly stays within 20 seconds of Verstappen and Leclerc, which he's doing, actually, I'm fascinated to see Toledo. All right, so lap 57, Mick is about 20 seconds behind Verstappen. So Verstappen is now safe from Mick Schumacher when he pits, probably, because he's got time to go. There's someone spun in sector 2. It's not affecting our race, whatever it was. It's Ocon who's crashed apparently and seemingly got on with things.
Okay, so there we have the Alpine.
What's he done here then? This is into the hairpin? Oh no, out of the hairpin, just hit the wall. Got passed by everyone. Got to go in again, I think. But it's probably done damage and probably needs to pit. He's down to 16th. And one thing I don't understand about Perez is why he's not like the best tyre saver. Because everyone went on softs at the same time. So you can sort of see who's best at saving tyres. And all of them would have had clean softs because we had a wet qualifying. Mind you, they may not have been smart. Anyone who got through to Q3 may not have been smart and may have used a set in every session rather than using old ones. Like we did. We've still got a fresh pair of softs if we need them. If there's an instant now, we put on fresh softs. I don't think we actually can push the fuel to the end of the race, but we're getting close. Gasly's tyres are worse than Sainz. Sainz is within a second. When did that happen? Carlos is so much better on his tyres than Pierre, then seemingly. Oh god. Yeah, that's what's happening. This is actually a race win fight between Pierre and Sainz, which is why I care about it so much. Doohan is 4 seconds behind Mick now as well. But Perez has got to pit again. Verstappen and Leclerc have probably got to pit again, or just be like atrociously slow at the end of the race. It's Gasly versus Sainz, and Sainz has the better tyres. I don't really know why they've got better tyres because we all went on them at the same time. So for some reason, Gasly is just 9% worse than Sainz on tyres. I know I pushed him for a lap or two, but it shouldn't be that bad. Has Gasly caught anyone to lap yet? No. Apart from the ones that kind of all ended up behind everyone because of red flags. But yeah, Leclerc and Verstappen at the very least are within DRS of each other. So there is a fight at the front to be entertained by. And then there's this one now between... Oh god, they are getting properly fighty now. I'm actually going to have to come off push for a bit, I think.
Safe fuel.
I'd rather just have that at the very end if necessary. I kind of want to harvest with Pierre through the main sector and then just obviously keep it neutral during the rest because Perez is going to get within range now. Well, he's still 2 seconds off. Apparently Perez. His soft tyres are probably going off. Mick is only 24 seconds off the lead. Hamilton has got past Doohan. That's the worst news possible. 18 laps to go. There is still a 4-second gap between them. So we've just got to make sure we get Gasly back on neutral here. So he's got DRS available for the main straight because there will be DRS for Sainz. Probably used quite a lot of ERS there anyway. Oh, I don't like this. I think he's got him. Or has he? Going through sector 1. Still on the inside. I think Sainz has got Gasly. Oh, Sainz is going to win this race. I mean, we have no reason. We legitimately should not be winning this race. So, I mean, even the mediums were pushing it to the end. But we could get away with it, is the point. At least we got to harvest a bit. Actually, sod it. Push the fuel again. No, actually, I don't care. Push until we're not... Push until we're like 0.1 over, because actually running neutral seems to be fine here. As long as we don't go under, we're all right. Oh my god, Gasly is like a full second slower. He might have got DRS, because I don't know where the detection point is, but I don't understand why he's a full second slower than Sainz at this phase of the race. He did get DRS, but not for long. Yeah, unfortunately, Sainz is actually going to run away with this, I think. I'm fascinated to see what happens in the next 16 laps with the soft runners, because they've got to be on, what, 50% now? Yeah, under. Bottas got up to 12th, so it's a nice recovery from him after qualifying last. Vettel's in 10th. He qualified in the bottom 5 as well. He must have benefited from pit stops, being on a... Yeah. You can see who hadn't pitted by the time the red flag came. Zhou Guanyu, who is still 18th. Gasly is sort of just within range when it gets to the DRS point. I don't know if he's actually in it this time, though. He isn't. That's a shame. Hamilton is slowly closing in on Mick, I think. But he went on softs.
I'm sorry about the spin.
Michael!
Yeah.
He's not Mick.
Let's take a look.
Is he out because he's not moving?
Right, watch this. There's Schumacher.
Not even pushing. Oh, Mick. That's the first time that's actually mattered. Oh, he's got going again. Oh, you can put on those fresh set of softs, mate. And obviously a new front wing because he broke that one. I don't know where he's going to come out because he's going to be so slow here. He's held obviously everyone up there, but yeah, he's going to come out 16th and that's that. Verstappen's pitted. The problem is I kind of don't want to... Oh, Leclerc got fastest lap actually, so we'll probably go aggressive on this and balance. Oh, God.
We just need copy.
Forgot to pay attention to the fuel. He'll save that in 10 laps, it's fine.
Copy.
So it's 11 laps, and Gasly's already on 40%. Why is he tracked so badly under on this stint, but did better on the first? You can't see it there. Why has he done worse on this stint overall?
Having to let these tires cool a bit.
I don't know what to do here. Can I see the circuit report? Yeah, I can. Okay, so green flag, pit stop is 20 seconds. Because I've got to make a decision with Gasly now. Estimated position when he comes out is 6th, which is where Hamilton is. He is faster than Hamilton. Honestly, Verstappen's 2 seconds behind. He's getting him. He's just getting him. He'll just get up to the back and go past me. I'm not certain Pierre can get to the end of the race now. Perez has just pitted, but Hamilton's got a pit anyway, I've just remembered. At the very least, we can try and nick fastest lap as well. There's also the very large question mark of whether or not we'd actually get the lap time back on Sainz. Because we're about to see what Verstappen's lap is. Oh, Verstappen has got like 2 seconds on Pierre on this one lap alone. Yeah, we come in and just blitz softs to the end. Oh, Mick got lapped. That's annoying. Oh, Mick got lapped whilst he pitted, in fairness. So there's just no way we get to the end of the race on those tyres. I have to blink because hopefully we cover off Perez here as well. Oh, lovely pit stop. Lovely pit stop there. 2.4 seconds. The Williams is coming in, apparently. We're comfortably ahead of 6th. I don't even know why we had to worry there. We lost nothing doing that, except for maybe Leclerc ending up behind us. Because Pierre can just attack these tyres now. Just going to go aggressive. So Leclerc came in, so that's what we lost, was basically that. New fastest lap for Gasly at 1:12.1. There we go. I mean, that helps salvage points that Mick's lost. I mean, at this point, Mick, just don't even get close to the fastest lap if that's possible. Did 1:15.2 though, but he got lapped, so... Yeah, there goes Hamilton. Oh, Mick. What could have been? Actually, Mick could still get... There's a point. Mick's just getting DRS off these two. Actually, stay aggressive. You might not end up 16th here, because Stroll's has come out straight ahead of you, and he's about to be lapped, so... Get the benefit, and maybe follow them through. I mean, this is causing carnage, because Mick's trying to overtake, and the Alfa Romeo is trying to get out of the way. It's ruined Perez's race. Wait, that's Verstappen. That's Sainz and Verstappen. There's a safety car. Russell and Doohan out. Oh, Doohan! Oh my god, a safety car. Doesn't matter now. How close was Gasly to Sainz by the time that came out? Oh, 13 seconds. Even if Sainz pits, is he going to come out ahead? He's not going to come out ahead of Verstappen and Leclerc. And in fact, he hasn't pitted. Oh, it was Doohan's fault as well. I didn't watch it. Sorry. Forgot about that. Should have watched it. Didn't see what happened. But Sainz didn't pit. Gasly's back in the running for top 4. He's going to catch this queue. It's not a problem. Schumacher's in the queue as well, which is a problem. Sure, harvest, conserve, leave the fuel as is because there's only 5 laps anyway. Never mind. I changed my mind. Conserve now. Attack at the end. Alonso's pitted, but that doesn't really affect us. Gasly's in the queue, I'm pretty certain. He's got a fair amount of lap cars in the way, which is a problem. I just don't want him to use it. Safety car's probably in this lap, I imagine. 2 double points for Alpine, double points for Haas. Haas finally scoring points. I think they're the only ones without points so far, so... In fact, I think this race might leave Doohan and Stroll as the only people who haven't scored points. Because I'm pretty certain both Williams has got points in Australia. Pretty certain. I mean, this race has got interesting. It's a 3-lap dash to the end.
Safety car will be inside.
Right, so ploy, push, tack, push, ploy. I want to get Stroll just for... I just want Mick to get Stroll. That's all I care about.
Energy if you need it.
It's just for pride more than anything. But Gasly's got so many cars to get out of the way of.
So there is no overtaking until the control line. And there'll be 2
Both
laps and no
Tsunoda, Zhou, Ricciardo and Mick. Oh no, I think there's only 3 between him and Leclerc. And then Mick's in the way of... Oh, so the front 2 are actually kind of clean. Right, Gasly is through Mick. Oh, it's Norris, actually. Is it? Oh no, that's Ricciardo looking in the back of Mick. Where is Gasly? So Gasly's through in 4th now. Oh, Ricciardo's 2 laps down. So actually, Mick's trying to lap Gasly as well. In the same process. Stroll's got away. Just because of this lapping situation. So Gasly's in touching distance of... Get out of the way, Stroll! Lance, you don't drive for us! Get out of the way! What is wrong with you? Well, I hope that severely held him up now, so Mick will get him. Hold on to that charge. Might just hold off on the fuel there for Gasly for this lap. How is Verstappen not got Sainz, though, is what I want to know. Sainz has got to be the slowest thing known to mankind at this stage. There's no DRS, of course. That's probably what's happened. Could probably harvest, actually, while this is... Oh, no, there's Perez now. Get him, Mick. Get him. Stroll's on better softs. Never mind. It's a cheeky bit of a harvest. Am I going crazy, or is Perez struggling to keep up again as the weather changes? So there's 1 lap to go, so I think we can go attack on it. I do not understand how Verstappen isn't just clearing Sainz. Sainz doesn't have any tyres anymore. This is the best defence I've ever seen anyone do.
So DRS is enabled now.
He's doing 115.2s, and we know for a fact that these fresh tyres do 112s. And I know they're not that fresh anymore, but you can deploy. Come on, drivers. Get your respective enemies. Oh, God, there's an Alpine just to ruin my day with Mick. If you deploy... No, never mind. Gasly's having a look at Leclerc here. It's not going to work, but he's having a look. Oh, God, I'm slightly worried about that fuel. Mick can push. He's a lap down. I mean, Pierre's got fastest lap, though. So, how?
Okay, happy to lift and coast.
How did Verstappen not get Sainz? That is unbelievable. Mick didn't get Stroll either. But... Max and I was on for 8th as well. Not bad, but...
When you stop,
I feel like if Gasly stayed out, he'd have been fine now. Oh, what a dramatic end. Anyway, no podium for Gasly.
Pierre Gasly flew us to the start.
I hope we're getting air miles for these flights. He flies us to the stars every week. Oh, so sad about Mick. He was 6th. Valtteri Bottas nearly on a point from 20th in Monaco. 20th to a point. I mean, 17th to 10th for Seb to get a point is phenomenal work from them. Oh, Mick. What could have been? Anyway, let's have a look. That's Mick down a place, actually, because Ocon got 2 points. 4 for Magnussen takes him to 14th. 1 for Vettel takes him to 17th. And it is indeed Doohan, Lance Stroll, and Yuki Tsunoda actually didn't score points in Australia. It was just Zhou Guanyu with 2. So just 3 drivers without points. And that will actually bring Haas above Williams now as well, for good measure. But 13 points for Pierre Gasly, of course, because fastest lap. I wonder if fastest lap was the mandatory incentive this week. Because if so, that's money. But 69 points. Nice. And Lewis Hamilton is only 4 points away. Pierre Gasly could genuinely get 5th in the drivers. I joked a couple of races ago that Pierre saw the 5th or higher target for us this year as a driver choice, not a constructor choice. Yeah, that's made at least the Drivers' Championship a little bit more interesting as the field narrows up a fraction. With Red Bull still romping away a little bit. We're just sort of comfortably in 3rd because Pierre Gasly's got the majority of our points. Alpine get to 5th. and Haas jumped to 8th. Williams with 2, AlphaTauri still only with 1 singular point. That should have been so much more as well, because that was Albon's 10th in Australia as well. Surprising for 4th, but it's just because there's no overtakes, is it? Yeah, shame, actually. How do we not have any chassis left? That's weird. Did someone use a chassis when I wasn't paying attention earlier? I know Pierre broke one in practice, I'm guessing then, and then Mick broke one in the race, so we must have only had 3. We are developing one. We're developing a new chassis in time for Azerbaijan anyway, so it doesn't matter. We'll just emergency fall there regardless, and we've got enough front wings now, although we might need to manufacture more front wings. That's it for this installment. Monaco was looking to be incredibly boring, but some people decided to spice it up towards the end. I'll see you next time for Azerbaijan, which should be a tasty feature as well with a brand new chassis. Until next time, if you enjoyed this episode, do give it a comment, a like, a subscribe, whatever order you prefer. But until next time, ta-ra.